We wanted to devise a series whereby we weren't limited by time, and we thought if we took World War II linearly, we were going to have a problem because the war only lasted so long and we were going to run out of war. If we picked an ATA pilot still living, so in her 90s, and dipped into her memory, we could go anywhere in the war. We didn't have to do the war in a linear fashion. We just had to do the modern day story in a linear fashion. So we gave Amelia a daughter, which is played by me, called Rose, who also has a daughter called Tilly.
Since the last series, Tilly's character has become a documentary maker and has decided to create a documentary about these women's lives and the hardship of it. I hadn't heard about them at all before I did this play, so it's been fascinating for me actually that I had no idea, and actually I think they were heroes and they did amazing work, very important work in the war effort, and that is it's not really in history. Certainly I wasn't aware of it until I did this play, so it's been really amazing hearing about those stories and learning about what happened.
The research element that went into Series 1 initially was huge for all of the writers. It was just essential that we had a foundation stone of the real incidents and events. Yes, we are creating fiction and drama, therefore everything is sort of condensed and heightened to some extent, but every single character is based on a real ATA woman or a conglomeration of, you know, the ATA women and their backgrounds and how they came to be those pilots from all their different paths in life. And it was really important to me that the timeline was correct and that all the events fall in a way that is historically correct.
I think the biggest legacy that they've left, apart from women are perfectly capable of doing so-called men's jobs, Pauline Gower, who spearheaded the ATA women, Air Transport Auxiliary Women, was the first woman to get equal pay for equal work. I think their stories are moving and humbling and exciting and exhilarating, and why wouldn't you want to tell this story?
So I think one of the kind of, thematically, one of the things that this story deals with is the idea of stereotypes and breaking down stereotypes. So you have women stepping into men's roles and how they rise to that challenge. And also, I guess this idea of stereotypes is addressed on this kind of undercurrent of, I guess, culturally innate racism. So you have the character of Gabriel, who is referred to throughout the text as the Negro, and how attitudes kind of shift around his character. And you have someone like Rhiannon. She has a beautiful line where, you know, he says it's only skin, and she says, I know, it's beautiful skin. So there's a real kind of simplicity and purity in her attitude and her approach to human relationship.
I think with black pilots in that time, it was very much that they knew how people viewed them. And I think with Gabriel, he very much knows how he is viewed. And so he tries to make sort of light of it. He knows his position and he ends up finding love, and he's heard this story before. He knows that it's very hard for someone who is black to fall in love with a white girl and for it to be accepted.
None of this would have been possible without Helen Goldwyn, who's so professional and so dedicated and wears so many hats in the creation of this series, from producer to writer to performer to laying out the lunch. I mean, she's just amazing to be in the room with. I would like to say how incredibly grateful I am to Big Finish to pick up on a series that I have been interested in getting done for about a decade. And when I pitched it to Big Finish, within 24 hours, they'd rung me up and gone, this is a goer, this is a story that has to be told.